songs that I've heard so far, Collect Call.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Thank you.
That song is about?
That song is about, like you say, man, when you're on top, everybody want to ball with you.
Okay.
But when you're not, you probably wouldn't know who to call.
My Life.
My Life, Your Entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Illy.
I'm Illy. That's just, cats say they want that old trap music flow back, just that non-stop, consistent punchline and metaphor, wordplay. So I gave them that.
So I heard a track with Kanye West on it.
Yeah.
And B.O.B. singing the hook, right?
Yeah.
What is that track?
On Top of the World.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that track about?
It's just, a track of reflection, man, looking back to my humble beginnings and, just reveling at how far I've come. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that it's definitely a record that people like Kanye and I, and now even B.O.B., we, when you on the outside looking in and, what I'm saying, that you just know that you good, you know that you worthy of being in the game, know that you could compete at a professional level. And once you finally prove that, it's like, yeah, it's a level of self-assurance that, I can't even describe it.
Is this body of work going to answer everybody's questions about what's happened with T.I. in the past year, what's going on in his personal life, what's going on with his legal woes? Are you approaching all those concepts on this album?
You know what I'm not doing on this album? I'm not giving any forward notice.
Okay.
I'm not giving any forward notice. I'm going to let the music speak for itself.
One of the songs that stick out most to me from this Paper Trail album is My Life.
Yeah, My Life, Your Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, can you say the words to that hook? Because it's something in that hook that I thought stood out.
My life, your entertainment. My sorrow, your amusement. Laugh at my pain and anguish. So famous I could lose it.
That's pretty introspective and deep. That kind of sums up. Is that how you feel like, is that how you view your experience?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, my life is their entertainment. For a long time, people came home, cut their TVs on, looked at the news just to see how my situation developed, and entertained themselves. In the meantime, it's my life. You know what I'm saying? People on the computer, T.I. this, T.I. that. They just said T.I. couldn't do this. They just said T.I.'s allowed to do that. And people comment, oh, I think this about T.I. I think that about T.I. Don't know nothing about T.I.
Well, your songs are so, right now, so honest that whatever you say in a song, you tend to believe, yeah, that's what he means and that's what he would do.
It's the real.
You got a line in your song that I was asking you about that says, stay in trouble so those dudes know I haven't lost. Well,
I say,
stay in trouble so they know
I say, in past I've stayed in trouble just to show these suckers I ain't lost it.
What's the next line?
And I probably do it again. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah. So all these things you've gone through.
Yeah.
From your legal woes to your beefs to all these situations. Do you think you could probably end up doing them again?
Nah.
No?
Not at all. It's back there. It's a piece of my mind that I have to be honest with you and share with you that it's a thought. If that thought is not there, then I never be able to check myself.
Because I want you to walk us through that day.
Which day?
The day that you were actually arrested. As much as you can.
It's going to be a short walk.
Was it that? Did it happen just like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, man? I can't really get into no extreme specifics.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, I'm treading real shallow water right now.
You tell me what you can say, whatever you can't say.
Yeah.
I understand. A lot of stuff has been out already, but
sure.
I don't want to, jeopardize anything.
Yeah.
Okay. But I felt like the two were kind of linked. what happened with Falant to get to this point?
Nah, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's just my judgment. It's just like, you know, that frame of mind. You know, that's just once you allow yourself, once something happens that has you to believe that you're in danger, and you feel like, well, had I been better prepared, this wouldn't have happened. Had I have had the opportunity to do for myself what I was looking to others to do, this wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
And then at that point, you say, okay, well, this was if this was the cause, the effect is me preparing myself, ensuring myself that this will never happen to me or my loved ones ever again.
Which is,
it wasn't any specific, like, you know, it wasn't no specific, like I heard people saying I was, you know, getting ready to go do something, or nah, nothing.
people said you had problems in the streets.
Nah, not like that. Not at all. Never.
Okay. You was just preparing to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Like a preempted strike or something.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, I guess
Kind
you
of,
could
sort of
say.
like that.
Yeah.
So the big question is, even in that process, I think every man has the right to protect themselves, but considering who you are,
Yeah.
and what you've done up until this point, you know, all the success you achieved and public's looking at you, you know,
Sure.
why wouldn't you have someone else deal with that transaction as opposed to dealing with it yourself?
Once again, if you are thinking with a rational mind,
Okay.
with priorities properly arranged, it makes no sense. But if your judgment has been altered by some tragic event, and something has you thinking on another level that you should be, the level other than you should be thinking on, then, you know, at that point, those decisions begin to come, they begin to be more jaded. You know, it's definitely, now in hindsight, absolutely the wrong decision.
You made a mistake.
I made a horrible mistake. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not gonna let that mistake define me. That mistake ain't gonna dictate my future. That one misstep, that one mishap is not going, you know, that's not going to be the end all be all for me, my career, my livelihood, my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna move past that. That's not, you know, my future is way brighter than my past.
If we rewind time a year ago,
Uh-huh.
here you are sitting on top of the world, and then all of a sudden it came crashing down.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened? Well, all I can say is that, you know, I exercise very, very poor judgment, you know, but basically what I did was I let my concerns for my safety, my family's safety, and my concerns about what might happen and what could happen, I let that deter my judgment to a point where, you know, my priorities were in disarray. And, you know, and I'm now paying the consequences for it.
I honestly thought, well, for T.I. to make that kind of mistake, it's easy to see the surface and everybody go, man, that ain't a boss move. What was he doing in the car in the first place? Who is this guy that he trusted his life with?
Yeah.
Well, he would even sit down and make this type of transaction with. And I thought about it, and I was going to ask you, when Falant died, did that spook you in a sense?
Spook me? I mean, man, when you've been through so much, it ain't a matter of being spooked, because you numb to a lot of things. It just made me, I never let that happen again. You know, it gave me that mentality. Oh, that'll never happen anymore. Not me. Not like that.
For those in this audience who may not know who Falant was and what exactly happened, can you kind of summarize what took place? This was in Cincinnati. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, without getting into too many extreme details, man, you know, there was an altercation inside of a club. The altercation spilled outside the club. We left, and someone pulled on the side of us and you know, let off a number of shots, and you know, we found ourselves in a shootout, and you know, it wasn't until the shootout was over we saw Falant was hurt real bad. And you know, while it was going down, from the fight to the shootout, while all that stuff was going down, you know, I wasn't concerned about my own safety and well-being. No, I wasn't really thinking about anyone else's safety and well-being. I was thinking about the situation at hand and dealing with it. It wasn't until that split second when I saw that he was hurt to a point where he couldn't respond to me, you know. It was when I was like, man.
You know, I spoke with a lot of Iraqi veterans who have come back from the war, and they talk about their experiences being at war. You know, and you know, any given moment, somebody could lose their life. And a lot of them experience a certain level of guilt because they're still here and their friends aren't. Did you go through that?
Absolutely. I felt like, you know, I should have been shot. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I should have been hurt. You know, the fact that I got out and, you know, wasn't nothing wrong with me. It was 3, 4 other people. Me and Falant was sitting just as close as you and I. And, you know, it wasn't, I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibilities for both of us to have the same injuries. So, of course, you know, I definitely placed a great deal of the blame on myself.
Since you've gone through this legal dilemma, I know you mentioned in the song that people ride with you on the mountaintop, and by appearance, you would think they would be willing to fall from that mountaintop with you. So since this dilemma has happened to you, how have people reacted? Have people abandoned you? Have you experienced fair weather friends?
I mean, I'll be honest, nobody worth even talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the people who I came in the game with, all the people who I knew before T.I. are still here. All of the, it just, you know, it trimmed the fat for me. That's all. Filtered out the foolishness. Everybody who I didn't really need around me anyway and didn't really serve a purpose and wasn't really supposed to be around, they wasn't cut like we cut, and wasn't really certified or qualified to even be in our company, we no longer have that problem, thanks to this situation.
What about the public's reaction? A lot of people wrote you off and said Tip is not going to recover from this. He's in jail now. People think you're in jail now.
I love that.
You feed off of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is that?
Because, man, that make me the underdog. Everybody love to see the underdog win. You know what I'm saying? That takes me from the person who, at one time, like you say, you rewind a year back, they figure, he can't do nothing now. He done everything. You know, if he come out and sell however many records, that's T.I. So what? Now, I'm at another position, you know.
Does it hurt your feelings, though? Because you seem real intact right now, but you've had a lot of time through house arrest to think about this, work it out, sort it out. But at some point, I know you had to be with your face in your hands like, man, what is going on? What just happened to my life?
Man, I mean, I knew it wasn't a question of what happened. I knew what happened, you know. It was just a matter of, okay, so now what? Let's deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna spend much time dwelling on the obvious. You know, you got a problem? All right, cool. Now let's deal with it. And like I said, man, I ain't lost nobody that I need. You know what I'm saying? The people that's gone, I didn't need them here no way. They needed me.
You're doing a lot of things now in the community. Some of it you're mandated to do. But some of it you've done before.
I mean, this particular situation and arrangement would have not had a slight opportunity of success had I not been doing it on my own beforehand. It was mentioned, you know, well, he's very involved in the community. He has extreme influence, and you know, he's passionate about reaching at-risk youth. All of this went into the decision making of what this arrangement would be. If I hadn't have done this years before, if it hadn't been documented and shown that I had done this years before, this, I would have never had the opportunity to take advantage of a situation like this.
And you literally go out from place to place, and you're going to tour and do speaking engagements to at-risk youth. Absolutely.
I mean, all our youth are at risk. To be, you know, to be honest with you, I mean, but I'm just sharing my experiences with them. You know, being honest about where I've gone wrong, things I've learned from my mistakes. You know, like I said, man, how not to let temporary emotion cause permanent problems. How to, you know, step away from the situation and ask yourself, how am I going to feel about this in 10 years? You know, that's where most of the violence come from. Most teen-on-teen violence come from somebody getting mad and reacting at that moment, right then, without thought, just a reaction. So I'm just trying to give them another perspective, another way to think about things.
And what is it that you say to those teens who react to a temporary emotion that affect them permanently? Just those who are watching right now.
Well, I mean, you got to know, man, that the things that you do today can and most likely will affect your future. CDC, choices, decisions, consequences, period. Don't get yourself in those situations that you don't want to deal with the consequences. You think about that. You know, don't just act like nothing's going to happen afterwards. Most people, you know, they do things and, you know, they act like once they do what they do, it's over. They don't calculate what could happen afterwards. And I think the more you start encouraging that thought, then the more you get different ways of thinking.
Considering everything you're going through, who's causing friction with you, he's obviously calling you out. You know, he's obviously challenging the throne.
You
know, which in my opinion isn't
if you could call it that.
Well, you know, it's not much different from what you probably would have did coming into the game, if you think about it.
Nah. I mean, I never looked to gain acknowledgement or recognition by mentioning anyone else's name. If it was an issue with me and another person, it was an issue with me and another person. It wasn't a publicity stunt or a marketing tool. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's not even, man, that's nowhere near my train of thought right now. Really? You know what I'm saying? I mean, back when that was my train of thought, we didn't have these problems. But since, you know, it's well known that that ain't what I'm on right now, then, I mean, you know, it's easy to make those comments and take that approach, you know, but...
You see it as competition? You don't take it personally?
I'm sorry. Copper who?
Competition.
Man, that was funny.
Okay.
Nah, man. I mean, I see it as, man, it's a cry for attention, dog. It's a cry for attention. But I mean, dog, I mean, at the end of the day, man, units in the city, in stores right now, go get it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's what that's for. So maybe now. I'd never been in a position where I felt like, if this person don't mention my name, I will just die. If this person just don't acknowledge me, he's so significant. If he says my name, I'll be straight. I've never put myself in that position. I went for mine and made people say my name.